I had um I had a head injury while I was working, an early job in my career, and became very fixated on the notion of how I could achieve everything that I wanted to and stand out in the workplace, if I didn't feel 100% like myself. And then with some distance, I realized how absurd it is that I was prioritizing um, somebody else's professional opinion when I was going through something that just like needed my full attention to recuperate. Um, that was the initial spark. Everything else, as far as the characters of Virgil and Gower in this weird world we find themselves in, I think um, was trying to exacerbate that feeling as much as possible, and take it to um, unimaginable territory.
Yeah. So Everett, you bring into life the character of Virgil, the leading character. Tell us a little about Virgil and at what level did you identify with him and what he's going through?
Yeah, well, I mean, I identify with just that underdog mentality of wanting to reach a certain level and wanting to get, I guess, the peers around you to respect you, whether it be your boss, whether it be family, friends. I identify with that and having to like struggle to prove yourself. And then also, I also identify with struggling to prove yourself in a part of kind of what Russell was talking about, to where you're kind of self-detriment in your own personal self-health, own being, just for the sake of like achieving something, right? So I think Virgil was battling with that, and sometimes you got to get slapped across the face by wild experiences till you really realize, oh, this is what I was doing all along. Till yourself is literally dangling by a thread. Now you can kind of face the true facts. So I've been through all of that.
Do you think we're driven by ambition at a level that is ridiculous?
I mean, that's kind of subjective, right? But I would think so. I think sometimes I think in this climate, honestly, I think I would say this truthfully, from an American standpoint, to speak from America, just from this space of the globe. I would say I think that we do over prioritize winning and losing and great and who's not great, trying to achieve and not being content. So I do think we over prioritize that, and we stay on the hamster wheel so much that we kind of forget about actual life and actual health and our being that kind of just sits quietly. So I would say that.
So Russell, how much this story was like a therapy session for you? I don't, or nothing at all. I don't know.
I think that I think filmmaking is very therapeutic in its own way. You get to not just fictionalize, but you get to really kind of focus on different emotions and elements of like a story that comes from the personal in some way. And you get to share it. You get to share it with people that have different perspectives. You get to share it with um, an incredible cast and crew. We had our world premiere screening yesterday at Dance of the Films, and it was one of those moments where I could literally see like even just a handful of like the amazing crew that we had, and the cast, and like the imprimatur that they put on this story that stemmed from my own psychoses and nerves. But they were not just along for the ride, but they were really kind of, they were taking it to a different world. So I do think that it ended up being such an easy thing to connect to. I think that our generation, specifically, we don't know a world in which it is not like you have to do 10, 20, 30 times more than you could possibly imagine to stand out in a profession. And this is a character we meet like already at the very beginning under the most dire circumstances. And it he doesn't even necessarily notice it because he's so, as Everett said, he's on the hamster wheel. He has his eye on something, in this case, a presentation, and he's so glued to it that he's just like anything else, life or death, he'll just punt aside for a little bit.
Yeah. Listen, Everett, I didn't know anything about the film before I watched it an hour ago. I just had the title, but how I think it's kind of unforgettable because it's really different. How important is it for you as an actor to be part of a unforgettable short film that I don't know, what do you think is going to be the impact of your participation in your career? Yeah.
I mean, you never really know how it's going to be received. You don't know if it's going to be unforgettable, but I guess there's seeds of that from your side of the creative process. So for me, example, when I received the script, Jamie Ember, amazing casting director, shared the script with me, and I read it. And when I was experiencing it, I was just like, oh, I don't know, I've never seen this before. You know, it was a world, it was a journey, it was a ride that I've never seen, and I couldn't even imagine how it was going to even make sense. And I think that's what inspired me as an actor, as a creator. I think that is a creator's job, right? Is to get us off this hamster wheel of life and to present new experiences, fresh experiences, unimaginable experiences that we haven't even thought to think about or that we didn't even think we wanted to experience. Like you said, you didn't know what to expect, and it's unforgettable. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's what it's all about. And meeting Russell Goldman and just seeing how he just had a brilliant imagination. That's what you want to do. You want to play, you want to imagine, and you want to take it as far as you can, even if you break up against the concept of absurdity. You know, so for me, it was fun, and I think that's important in my career. And just working with amazing filmmakers like Russell and the rest of the team, that's just inspired to just tell great stories and present great ideas.
What about a feature film? Bring Virgil into a feature, and then
That'll be fun.
and then he accomplishes all his dreams and kills the boss. Or not too much.
Origin story, huh? Villain origin story.
Yeah, a bit of that. That's a bit of an anti-hero. I would empathize with that, but it's there is something very I don't know, Everett, how there, I feel like there is something very pure of heart in Virgil, even through the end of this story, where he's trying, like beyond all odds. It's not like when he sees there's a surprise near the end of the movie. It's not that he like even runs out of the room. He's like still kind of like waiting for all the information, like to hear Gower out. But obviously, no, he's driven. The tragedy from our conversations has always been like he loses himself by the end of it, and it is an elected choice in certain ways. And that's really sad because I like Virgil so much. I like everything that he cares about so much. And but it's a tale as old as time. It's we sell our souls for something, and this is just a different iteration of it. But to answer your question, yes, would happily make a feature film of this one day. I might need a little bit more experience as a filmmaker to pull off a feature film with this kind of visual scope and imagination, but I'm confident it will happen. Just a matter of when.
Great. Okay, my last question. Everett, for me, Virgil represents goodness. It's all, I mean, he's driven by, I don't think that there is nothing, I don't see there's anything wrong by the way he's driven to success. It's just the system that is like that. So do you think he represents goodness and good values, or how do you see him?
I do. I think Virgil represents goodness. I think Virgil represents love and just moving with the best intention possible, like doing your best in whatever cubicle in life you're in, like maxing it out so much. I think that's what we do as humans. Like we want to be faithful over few. If I get one little piece, one little seed, how can I do my best in this space to kind of make it grow? I think Virgil represents that. And in that process, you may bump up against some weeds along the way, and now you got to figure out Are those weeds growing with you, or do we cut them apart? You know, so you got to deal with that battle. But I think Virgil represents goodness. I think he's a fun character created by Russell, and it was an honor to play him and just explore that world and these systems about how do you maneuver and not lose yourself, or is it meant to be that happens? So
it's a great metaphor for the short film itself. You have like 12 minutes to create, like within a very small amount of time, to create the maximum impression that you possibly can, with limited resources.
Yeah, the short film in itself is a reflection of the world of Virgil.
Yeah, I love that. Cool.
Yeah.
So great. Sorry, I had a great time talking to you guys and watching the film. Have a great weekend, and I wish you good luck with the film. And make more movies, no? Make more movies.
Yeah, Guy, thank you.
You got
Thank
that.
you.
I appreciate it.
Take care.
Cool.
Bye. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Wait, I have to stop recording. I never do. There's always someone doing the recording. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry.
I don't know what's wrong with the mouth. Hold it. Okay, here we go. Oh, I found it. Stop recording.